Hello, it's Josh Silverbauer here, and I'm going to be talking to you today about advanced filtering and segmentation in Microsoft Clarity. This is a very exciting topic. There's a lot of value in using the filters and segments. And we're going to dive deep into what filters exist and how you can use them, and then get into some more advanced configuration that will allow you to, pretty much customize the system as you see fit. So as you go around the tabs here, you can go into dashboard, recordings, heat maps, and you'll have this option for filters and segments over to the left here. When you click filters, you want to start with filters, and filters can be built into segments, which we'll cover at the end of this video. But this will allow you to segment your users and basically create any type of different conditions of what you want the Microsoft Clarity heat maps and recordings to show. So if you look at this, there are a few different sections here. There is user info, user actions, path, traffic, performance, session, page, and custom filters. And each one of these will give you some options. So let's start with the user info. The user info will provide you the ability to pull in, different attributes about that user. So, for instance, what like the time frame or the day of the week that the user was on the website, mobile versus desktop, the browser and operating system that user came in from or was using while they were on your website, a location, so where in the world they were when they accessed your website, and the user ID, which the Clarity user ID, which you can actually find if you go into recordings and you're looking at a specific detail about a user. You will, if you go into the user, you'll see like into a specific session recording and click on this more details, you'll see the user ID that you can select here and then also add that as a filter if you would like. So that's the way you can see a specific user if you want to drill that specific user down and see that person's journey in recordings or the dashboard, etc. The next section is user actions. Within user actions, you can see specific insights around activity that user did on your website. So, for instance, rage clicks, meaning they were really angry and started clicking everywhere on your website thinking that it would do something and it didn't do something. And so they just kept on clicking it and got more and more mad. That's a rage click. Dead clicks is they clicked something and nothing happened. They expected something to happen, but it just didn't. And that was that. Excessive scrolling is people scrolling up and down the page, going all over the place, trying to find the information that they are looking for. Quick backs is they go to a page and then they go right back to a previous page. So they obviously were underwhelmed by the content that they received on that new page. Cursor movements, this is just going to be, these next four are specific actions that somebody took on your website. So did they move their mouse? Did they enter text on your website? Did they select text on your website? Or did they resize the page, during that person's visit there? Click text allows you to put in specific text. So if you have a specific call to action that you want to understand, if somebody clicked it or not, you can put that in there and that will filter that down. So people who clicked specific CTAs, paid scroll depth, how far down a person got on the page, and you can create different percentages between 50 and 100. The smart event section, if you have built smart events, which is Clarity's different key actions, essentially. The ability to see things like purchase or form fills. If you've built them, they would be in this section. So you can see here that we have some, specific key actions that we have made into smart events, analytics and CRO clicks, contact us form, submitted any form, And we could select those as well. Reader type. This is, if you click this down, this is basically the will give you a sense if somebody came to a specific page, and then if they have gone to 2 or 3 pages, or if they've gone to 4 or 5 pages or more. So this is really about the amount of content that a person ingested when they got to your website. Reading behavior, this is basically going to be like they come to the website, they see a headline, and then they leave, or did they finish a particular article when they came to that specific page. So a lot of value here in the user actions that you could drill down to. So the next up, we have path. This one's pretty straightforward. You can enter a URL in here of what path, like what specific page a user got to on the website. This is going to allow you to see any type of visit or users who have reached this specific page. You can also drop this down and use regex or contains to get multiple different pages in the mix here. You can also add additional URLs if you would like to once you have a specific URL selected there. So this, essentially allows you to look at any user who's hit a specific page on your website. Traffic. This is all based off of where somebody came from before they got to your website. So, for instance, the referring site, the site that they came before, or you can use UTMs and either exclude or include a specific source, medium, or campaign or channel where that person came from. So in the channel, for instance, we have all of these broken down channels here. And this is based off of, a set of rules that Clarity determines on, what should fit into these different buckets. But if we wanted to, for instance, see organic search, it would include things like Google Organic, Yahoo Organic, Bing Organic, etc. Performance is all going to be about site speed, how fast did something load, and comparing different experiences in terms of site speed against each other. So you could check, for instance, if somebody had a poor performance, how did that affect the conversion rate on the website or the smart event that you built? So that's really potentially valuable to kind of understand how your website loading affects that person's experience on the website. Sessions allow you to take a look at a full visit, and this is only available in recordings and dashboards. It's not available in heat maps, but this will allow you to pull in the amount of clicks during a specific session, or if you want to see users who have went to multiple different pages, or a minimum of 8 pages. It's a big journey on a specific visit, but 8 pages during a visit, you could input that here. So they give you a minimum and a maximum in each one of these, and you can put in either the time or the amount of clicks you want to see, or the amount of pages that a user went to. Page, this is basically the same as the session options, except you have more. This is more granular in terms of a specific page. So this is available on a heat map. So you could say, I want to understand people who've been on my page for a minute, or people who have had 10 clicks on my page. So that's these two. The JavaScript errors allows you to see specific errors that people are experiencing on your website. So if you drop this down, you'll see a bunch of different errors that you can pick and understand when people are getting those errors, and it will actually help you, find those errors and debug those errors. So this can be really valuable, especially for devs who are trying to understand when and why people are experiencing certain issues on the website. Page size, this is going to be basically your the amount of height and width a page is. So longer pages, if you want to drill down to pages that are a specific length, long blogs, etc. This is good for that. Screen resolution, how big a specific screen is. Visible page and hidden page. This visible page is going to give you basically the amount of time a page was visible to the user. And this is basically the opposite of a hidden page, which is the amount of time a page was open but hidden, such as behind another tab. So if that page was, like in that person's browser, but they weren't looking at it and moving on it, specifically at that time, you could pull that information in as well. And then finally, the last section, which I think is the most valuable section, but also, kind of the hardest to set up, is the custom tags or the custom filters. And the custom filters gives you the ability to build your own filtering criteria. And this is really, really, really cool because you can actually build, if your criteria is not in the many, many choices that you have above, you can build your own filters, which will open up the doors to any type of analysis that you would like. And some examples of those filters is if, for instance, you are using some kind of system like 6sense, or you have a CDP, or you are able to identify like companies or company IDs. You could, add company here as a custom tag. You can do certain events as a custom tag. So, for instance, if you see ours, we have these like key actions here. So, like basically, did somebody do a key action that we've determined on the website and what we're sending in? Or CTA button audience. This is a split test that we ran. That was an example that we created of a group and a B group who saw different CTAs, and I pushed in, the A and the B here as a group, control and variation. So you can see here that this has a lot of flexibility, and we'll jump over to GTM to show how we could set, these types of things up. But it will give us ultimate flexibility. You also have the ability to add a custom user ID, custom session ID, and a custom page ID if you would like. So if you have your own user IDs, for instance, if you are running a CDP, or if you would like to use something like the Google Analytics ID, or whatever you want, you can send those in as different variables. And Clarity will adopt them and be able to display them in these different sections. So you have a lot of options as well. So a logged in user, if you do have a user ID, you can send that in and marry different systems together, such as, a HubSpot ID if you're using HubSpot or whatnot, or a segment ID if you're using Segment. So an example of this would be if, on our website, on FDF, we have a couple of different options here. We have this, we can build a first party cookie, and we have this like GA ID, which is our Google Analytics ID. Say we want to build that as our user ID or custom user ID. We can go into, so my favorite GTM template from Microsoft Clarity is actually this Lunatic Microsoft Clarity template. If you look at the options in this Lunatic template, you have the ability to add custom tags. And this is what we want to do. We also are interested in customizing our identifiers. So you can see here, when I click this, it gives us the option to set a user ID if we want, or build out a session ID, or however we want to send in custom information here. So if I did want to build a custom user ID to send to Microsoft Clarity, and it was based off of this GA ID, what I could do is I could create a first party cookie. And we could name this cookie, we just want to go back over to our website, _GA. Grab that in. And now our GA cookie will be sent to Clarity as the user ID. Okay. So we can do that, and that could be our main tag, and we can send that with every single page view. So if this was, we're already sending in Microsoft Clarity here through, right now I'm using the official one, but if we wanted to like customize this and basically build this in to the user ID into the code so that it came in with every single hit to Microsoft Clarity, we would just use that template. The other option here, as you can see in the CTA button test, or the CTA click here, we've created this key action here so that we're leveraging this custom tag to send this key action here and to the value of CTA click whenever the hero tagline is clicked, right? So whenever somebody, for instance, goes up to our top here and clicks this build sustainable growth or whatnot, it will actually fire this tag. So we have this here, and you can see that this CTA click happened. And it is sending this key action here, CTA click, and then that then gets communicated downstream to this custom tag. And you can see key action here, and we have this CTA click. We apply that. Here is all of the different recordings that have had that CTA click in it, or we could look at heat maps that have had that CTA click in there. So you can see that there has been some clicks over the last 30 days. And so it just allows you to pull in, varying different levels of information around, those users who have clicked that. And you can go to the dashboard and see, what those experiences were like, and see more information about those referrers, etc. So this really gives you a better understanding of, that you can really customize these, filters as much as you would like, and really build a really powerful filtering system. Once you build your filters and you have your conditions, you can save them as a segment, and you do that by clicking the save segment. You can save as a new, and you can put in anything you want here as the segment name. So we'll say FDF. I'm going to get rid of this page URL there, but we'll say CTA clicks last 30 days. And once you have that saved, it will now be available to you whenever you want. So if you go, filters are basically one and done. So if you create a filter and then you come back later to your website, that filter won't be available anymore. Or to Microsoft Clarity, that filter won't be available anymore. However, if you go and save it as a segment, that filter those conditions will be saved, and you can just use that segment anytime you want, which will pull this data up. So for instance, if I refresh, so right now those filters are not pre-saved, but if I drop this down, you can see CTA clicks in the last 30 days, and now those filters are applied again. So this gives us a quick and easy way to reuse combinations of filters. And once you have those filters applied, you can use pretty much any of the features that you would like with those filters applied. So if I want to use, for instance, Copilot with just this filter system in place, I can click the summarize heat maps, and it will just give us insights that surround those filtering conditions. So this is a really cool way of, really diving deeper into the analysis beyond what you can do with just no filters applied. So yeah, that's your quick tutorial on how to use the filters and what the filters are, and happy filtering. Bye-bye.